Hello, hello, hello everyone, NegroVMX here, and welcome back with more of Dragon Quest, or Dragon Warrior, whichever you prefer to call it. Where's my controller? Oh, on the ground. That's a great place for it, isn't it? Just get that. It's in an awkward position. Alright, we're good. So, it's been a few days. I was getting a little weird at the end of the last one because it was like... Now taking my own advice of just taking the death and letting it go to more experience points, you know. What am I... Let me look at my status here. Hand axe, chainmail, large shield. Okay. I have 600 gold. Alright, 1300 experience, which I believe 1500 will get me to level 10. I could be wrong about that. Let me look into that real quick. I have a thing up about that somewhere here. Oh, no, it's... Okay, 1300 was it. So it's 2000 then for the next level, which we'll get Fizzle then. So, that being said, I honestly kind of forget exactly what I'm saving up for right now. We have the hand axe. We have... Oh, the half mail, right? The half plate? That's like 1,000, I think. Alright, let's go fight some monsters. Make this a little louder. It is a slime. He's dead. Oh, I was playing Dragon Quest Builders and I just got to the point where you get the Lyre of Ire and you can make the musical 8-bit. I chose to leave it off even though I turned it on for a little while just to demonstrate it in the videos, but I chose to leave it off because it's like I'm already kind of going through the 8-bit games, so let Dragon Quest Builders be what it is, you know? He ran. How come I can't get encounter rates like this when it's powerful enemies and I'm trying to grind? It's only the Noonsense enemies that do that. Alright, so 2,000 experience points, 1,000 gold, kind of our goals here for now. I believe I bought that shield. It's the, let me look actually. I didn't even look at the shield. Yeah, large shield. Okay, so it's just the half plate armor, which is 1,000. Some people choose to skip the half plate armor and go straight for the full plate, which I think is like 3K. But I don't know. I find that you just fall a little bit behind on XP then. No spells needed for scorpions at this point. We can pretty much two-shot them. Sometimes maybe even one-shot them. And aside from that, they're not doing much damage to me with the chainmail, so, and the large shield. Same thing with skeletons. You see he's only doing 1 damage. I mean, he might do like 2 or 3, but it's 2, so it's not big threat. Alright, Prestidigitator. Or just simply Magician. If you wonder what Prestidigitator means, it means Magician. This is a different way of saying it. Yeah, there's a few dungeons in the game, and I could even do one of them now, like, probably pretty well, but I like to save the dungeons until a later time. Alright, actually I should stick to, like, right around here, but just in case there's danger. Okay, we got a Scarewolf, and he's just gonna go ahead and stop spell me, which is dangerous, as I can't now put him to sleep, but I'm gonna try it. 12. Alright. 11. So I'm at almost full health, and I got the axe. Okay, 10, 12. Alright, we got him. We can heal after. 69 gold, nice. Okay. Just 2 heals should bring me up to pretty much full. So how much money do I have? Right? 748. So we only need 1,000, you know? Okay, we got a skeleton scrapper. I'm just gonna see if we can put him to sleep. It's weird that they called them wraiths back then, because it's clearly not a wraith. It's clearly bone-based. It is a boner. Oh, he's healing. Man. All right, we gotta put him back to sleep. Oh no. Okay, now I'm in a little bit of trouble. Let's see if we can put him to sleep. All right, we got him to sleep. And I'm gonna heal myself, just in case he wakes up soon. Ah, he woke up. Jesus. Oh no. Well, I really don't want to take a death so soon. I'll try to heal. Now I'll put him to sleep. I'm gonna run out of magic points so soon. I hate that they heal. Oh, we got it. He's definitely dead. I feel I've barely been down here, you know? That gives me enough to heal, to put them to sleep once. Alright, so if he wakes up, or just doesn't work, alright, we gotta run. Alright. That's the rub of it. We ran out of magic. We're at 800, though. Exactly 800. Well, not anymore, but, you know. But yeah, it's kind of weird that they would be called wraiths. Like, when you think of wraith, you think of something like, like the Lord of the Rings, the ring wraiths, right? The Nazgul. Where they're just ghostly, not like a skeleton. Like, Final Fantasies had enemies that were like wraiths, and they did have like a skull face, but that was just the face. And, like, all the rest of them was, like, you know, like the robe. I guess there was, like, a hand coming out, too. But they weren't stronger versions of skeletons. There were skeletons in Final Fantasy, but they weren't... The wraiths were, like, ghost-type enemies, you know? They were, like, shadows and images and wraiths and ghosts, you know? And the different translations. Each time they release a version of Final Fantasy, they switch all the names around. I mean, Dragon Quest has become a little bit more homogenous in terms of the names of spells and enemies and such. Like, once the red slimes became she slimes, alright, they're she slimes. There's a few, like, the metal slimes. Well, the Game Boy Color version was weird. We'll talk about that. Oh, am I gonna do... Yeah, whatever, it's just 6 gold. The Game Boy Color version is really interesting. If you ever played Dragon Quest 1 and 2, or as it was called, Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 in Game Boy Color, and I did... Let's Plays these years ago. They had extremely dry and extremely literal translations of the text that were like instead of Erdrick, they said Lodo, which is fine because it is Lodo in Japan. But then later they reverted, you know, the official translations to Erdrick. Same thing with Gwaelin. It's considered Gwaelin now, but you know, for a while in those Game Boy games, it was Laura, which is the Japanese name. But some of the names of the enemies are really kind of, they stick out, like metal slimes or metalies. So, you know, in some ways it was cool to see that because it wasn't the old Middle English translation, and it wasn't the new like kind of anime-esque, but it was a very, very literal translation. That was a little dry, but it was interesting to play. Probably the only thing that I think was a big mistake was the last boss of Dragon Quest II's name. Because in Japan, he's called Shido. And they didn't write it as Shido, they wrote it as like Sido, like S-I-D-O-H. And it doesn't really make much sense. Shido makes sense. Sido is sort of gibberish. But in the old translation of Dragon Quest II and the modern translations as well, he was Malroth, which Malroth is like an actual translation of Shido, you know? So instead of just like, oh, this is the Japanese name, therefore that's what we're going to write, they actually translated it. So that's kind of like the disadvantage of doing it too literally, where you don't translate names. Alright, we're already up to 900, so... Alright, got that ghost. I got the ghost. Alright. Let's fight some stronger enemies. Hopefully I don't run into too many of those skeleton scrappers that are... Well, here's one right here, but hopefully I can just put him to sleep and keep him asleep until I can kill him. Alright, we got him asleep. Man, he woke up right away. That doesn't really happen with too many enemies. These guys, and then it doesn't work. These guys seem somewhat resistant to sleep. And I could, you know, I'm afraid of him healing, so... Alright, one more hit should do it. And it's just, you know, a big sink of magic points. One more. I mean, honestly, by the time I get back, I would probably have enough money, but at least let's get... Oh! Yeah, no. Oh, no. Oh, don't kill me when I'm almost there. I'm not gonna let this happen, guys. Is he gonna kill me? No. Alright. Yeah, there he is. Bro, that's tough. I'm just gonna start heading to Galenholm because by the time I get there, I'll have 1,000. Run the risk of... Once I have the half-plate armor, it might actually be doable to fight those guys because they'll be doing less damage. You really can't put them to sleep. You could put any enemy to sleep in this, including the last boss. But it's a lot of luck. Like, it's... like, in modern ones, like, enemies like the Gold Golem or the Dragon Lord, the final boss, are immune to being put to sleep. In this game, it's just a very low chance. It's just... I find it to be not worth it. I hurt myself today. Here we go. That's over 1,000. It's a red slime. Yeah, it goes for the most. Alright. Talk to this man's right here. So we'll get that half plate. I don't know how plate mail can be half plate. I don't understand that, but... Alright, no, we're good. Alright, I'll stay at the inn. We do need to grind more to get the full plate armor, but I want to travel to Cole at least once, and we'll show you that area. And, yeah. Did I ever talk to the people here? I think I did when I first arrived, right? Let's see. It said that the princess... Yeah, okay. That's another reason to go to Cole, to talk to people and such. We'll show you where Cole is. That's the next town. I think the only thing we want to buy is full plate armor. The next, like, weapon, the sword, is... I think you have to go to Rimuldar for that. Alright, so we're going to kind of go back in the direction of where Tantagel is. There's sort of two ways to get there. One way is a little longer, and the other way involves walking through poison. I'll show you both. Okay, so understanding where we are, that we're basically just north of Tantagel. Matter of fact, I'll dip south just to show you the town, so you can get your bearings. Fight a lot of ghosts along the way. Let's see. Oh man, I have to go around the mountain, do I? Yeah, see, there's the castle and the town. So, I'm just going to go to the east. We've been exclusively going west. But now we're going to go east. And the enemies are not as hard, but that's why we didn't go there. We were going for the harder enemies. Alright, another ghost. I believe it's 3,000 for the armor, but... Okay, so there's a river here. You're going to cross that river. And then there's a second river. There's a mountain range. And if you keep going east, you come to this second river, and which is different, but yeah. Red slime. Wait a minute. to show you, though, that that first river, you don't need to cross the bridge. You could actually just go this way. This is like kind of just south of Tantagel, and then you can just go through the poison. And this is a spot where you would only lose 3 hit points, but, you know. It's better to go out of your way to and avoid that, because you fight more enemies. Alright, second bridge. This one you have to cross. And you see that poison there, and you can't really see it from here, but there, well, if I go down here, you can. As a magician, I press the digitator. There's a cave there, and that cave actually leads to the southern continent where Rimuldar is, and in that cave is actually where the princess is, although we won't be going for her for a while. So we just go up this way, and here's coal. There's also an item I can pick up here too that I'll need to pick up at some point. We might as well do it right now. Oh, he took that hit, huh? He ate that up. I think the strongest enemy around here would probably be skeletons. This is the village of Cole. It sure is. Dreadful is the South Island. Great strength and skill and wit only will bring thee back from that place. Basically, Tanya, it's tougher than here. Please save me from the minions of the Dragon Lord. Working on it. Golem is afraid of the music of the flute, so 'tis said. That's specific to one golem, not every golem. Like the gold golems and such it won't work on. East of Hawksness there is a town, 'tis said, where one may purchase weapons of extraordinary quality. So Hawksness is these days called Damdara. Sometimes it's Domdara, but that's what they're talking about. That's that Hawksness, or Damdara, is that town in the desert you can kind of see from that bridge where I was fighting enemies, but I told don't go there. All right, let's see. So this is the weapon and armor shop. You can see they have full plate for 3,000. It's the only thing we would want. So we're going to get that, but obviously not right away. Talk to this man's right here. In legends, it is said that fairies know how to put a golem to sleep. Let me talk to this guy over here. Hast thou seen Nestor? I think he may need help. So I think it's right here that you search. There's the fairy flute. There's somebody in another town that tells you that it's from the baths and you just take 4 steps down. In modern versions, it would be sparkling. This bath cures rheumatism. If only. I know a few people who could use a rheumatism curing bath. You have to take a little damage to talk to this guy, but why not? Though thou art brave, as thy ancestor Aleph, thou cannot defeat the great Dragon Lord with such weapons. Thou shouldst come here again. And you can see you don't really need to go through that door, you just walk around it. Art thou the descendant of Erdrick? Hast thou any proof? I do, but you need to get out of my way, man. You're kind of wrecking the whole vibe right now, dude. All right, thank you. Rimuldar is the place to buy keys. That's to the south of here. Hast thou been to the southern island? Not yet, no. To the south, I believe, there is a town called Rimuldar. Now, if you say yes, which we haven't been there, but let's lie and say yes, I have heard that powerful enemies live there. It is true. So this is the tool shop where you can get this kind of stuff, but we don't need anything there. The wings, the Chimera wings, or wings of the Wyvern as they were called, they're like a free trip back home, which is interesting. But yeah, we need to now muster up 3,000 gold. So, let me show you something else. So if you go through here, you can see we're on the other side of that mountain range, and there's a guy that you can talk to up here. We don't have what he's looking for, but we might as well go talk to him. I remember when I was a kid, and I was playing this, and I found this place just wandering around, and then I remembered it, that there was this, like, northern cave where there was this staircase and a guy there, and then I couldn't find it again. I had much of a sense of direction back then. Thy bravery must be proven. Thus I propose a test. There is a silver harp that beckons to the creatures of the Dragon Lord. Bring this to me, and I will reward thee with a Staff of Rain. Staff of Rain is one of the very important items that you need to beat the game. The silver harp he's talking about is the Lyre of Ire, which every time you use it, you immediately get into an encounter. It's in a dungeon, which we're not really prepared for at this point. We don't have the keys to get in there, firstly, and secondly, we wouldn't survive the lower floors of the dungeon with the current level and current weapons that we have. It's actually in Gallenholm, that dungeon. There's not many dungeons. There's the one that I pointed out that's sort of like south of Galenholm. There's one in Galenholm. There's the one small one where the dragon and the princess is that connects Cole to Rimuldar. And there's the final dungeon. So there's really not a lot of dungeons in this. But I'm going to go to the familiar spot that we've been grinding in, and we'll work up 3,000. I'm just going to walk through this and take the damage, and I'll stop in Tantagel and heal myself there. And you see where we are? Right there. So instead of going over that first bridge, you can just go south and walk through the marsh if you want to. Now he went first. He said, I'm gonna get that 1 damage off you before you kill me. That's wild. It's crazy. Alright, let's see. So let's heal up. So the goals right now are 3,000 gold, 2,000 experience points. We'll definitely hit the experience goal first. There's no doubt about that. Hopefully we're able to survive a bit longer down there with the half plate and, you know, not have to dip back so quickly. May even be able to fight the gold golems. You know, the one thing is they're very resistant to sleep. They're very hard to put to sleep, so I don't usually bother. And they hit very hard, and they got a lot of health. So, you know, that could be kind of rough. And you don't have a better healing spell till level 17. So, you know, you get mid-heal or heal more or whatever you want to call it. By the way, it's interesting. In Japan, the word that they used for heal was in Dragon Quest. I don't know the word off the top of my head, but it was the word they used for heal in Dragon Quest that was a made-up word. It wasn't like a Japanese word. It was just like a word that they made up for a spell in a video game. But because Dragon Quest is so ridiculously popular there, like way more than any other RPG. Like globally, like top RPGs would be like Pokemon and Elder Scrolls and Final Fantasy, but in Japan it's like Dragon Quest. And those other RPGs are very popular there as well. It's just that not as much as Dragon Quest. So, what's interesting about it is, because it's so popular, that became the Japanese word for heal, or a Japanese word for heal. So people just started saying it, and it just fell into common usage and is in their dictionaries now. And that's how, you know, new words are. People say, well, that's a made-up word. Other people say it's a made-up word. I was like, all words are made up. What are you talking about? All words are made up. Had a really funny conversation once on Facebook about this sort of issue where I'm going to leave the person's name out of it. I'm not going to try and put this dude on blast, even though he kind of deserves it. But he was ranting about how some people want to change the name of Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. You know, and there's a lot of reasons why people would want to do that, but he was against it, and his reason, well, he had not one reason, but several reasons, and oh god, a chimera. And they were all very strange reasons. I had to heal. He had very strange reasons for wanting to... At least he only attacked me. I'm still taking a lot of damage. Chimeras are very tough. One of his reasons was people change things too much. That was everything should stay the same. I don't like when they change things, so... Because it's a change, I don't like it, which I thought was disingenuous, you know. Dealing with change is sort of part of being an adult, you know. Alright, we got it, though. It wasn't too bad. So that was sort of a... But his other reason, and this is the one that I thought was very funny, was he says, the word indigenous. He didn't like that word, indigenous. Oh, God, another chimera. He said it was a made-up word that people started saying last year. And you might wonder, well, when was this? This was in 2015 or so. Or it was in 2016, but he was basically saying last year. So he was saying that people started saying indigenous. They made it up last year, which was 2015. And I was just like, bro, the word indigenous has been around since the 15th century. What are you talking about? You know, and the the whole idea of changing Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day has been around since the 90s. So, like, what are you talking about? And he just, dug his heels in because that's what people on Facebook do. And like I said, I'm not going to put him on blast because he is sort of a YouTuber. Not exactly a friend of mine, but just somebody that I knew through Kazorith Studios. And, and at one point I told him, I said, dude, stop posting. Because he kept arguing. And I said, stop posting. And he says, why? This is funny. He says, why? And I said, well, because you're wrong. And he says, just because I'm wrong doesn't mean I should be silent. And I'm like, no, that's a pretty good reason to shut up if you're wrong, It wasn't just me. Two people, both of which have an interest in linguistics. They were telling you, no, the word indigenous is not new. It's been around for hundreds of years. It wasn't made up last year. We're not arguing the point of Columbus Day because it's sort of like not even the idea of it. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't feel confident there. Okay. We're arguing that, that he's saying that it's a new thing. Oh, stop spell. Great. Well, I'm at full health, so. Well, I was. Alright, if we don't get him here, it's real trouble. We doubt it. Well, I have enough to heal myself once, which is not going to really do it. We'll start heading back. That's why I was at the very edge of where the stronger enemies were. So you take one step up and it's not so bad. Oh. Okay, the skeleton's hanging out. He can hang with the best. So yeah, it was a I still bring this up from time to time, that this guy was saying this because he hadn't heard. This is the thing. He thought that his experience in life paints the rest of the world. And there are a lot of people who think like this. It's just they're not usually that open about saying that they think like that. They're usually a little bit more clever about hiding it. But he thought that his life was typical and that everybody else was like him and everybody else shared his experiences and everything. So if he hadn't heard the word indigenous or any word until 2015, then therefore it was not being used, it was not being said, it was just made up. And, I took exception with him being incorrect about it. But here's the thing. Even if he was correct, and that the word just cropped up in 2015, right? His argument was that it was a made-up word. And I'm like, dude, all words are made up. All of them. Every single word is made up. So... And if you want to use the dictionary as the criteria, guess what? It's in the dictionary. It's been in the dictionary for a long time. It's just kind of wild. But yeah, a lot of words are made up. There's a shocking amount of words that we use that were made up by William Shakespeare, actually. That he would just make up a word. Like, there would be words for things, but they wouldn't fit his meter or his rhyme, or they wouldn't, it weren't poetic enough, so he would come up with something that would fit in one of his sonnets or his plays or whatever. And then, but he was so good at making words that people would just understand what he meant based on context cues and the way that he, what is my max? It's actually 46. All right. So a lot of words, like eyeball. Eyeball. The word eyeball didn't exist before. You would just say eye, you wouldn't say, but, Shakespeare started saying the ball, the eye, and eyeball, and people are, all right, eyeball, all right, that makes sense. It's ball, right? It's your eye. That came from Shakespeare. It's kind of wild. A lot of words like that. There's a whole list of them that you could look up that were invented by William Shakespeare. Oh dear. See, when I'm trying to get like a bunch of scare rolls, I gotta walk back and forth and back and forth. But when it's slimes, it's almost every step. That's just the way it is. All right. Oh dear. Oh dear. But yeah, the words made up. Oh my god, dude, really? That's a joke. Give me the stronger enemies that often. There's only two different sorts of situations, I should say, where a lot of encounters annoys me. One is when I'm trying to like find my way through someplace, like where I'm kind of like lost or trying to get my bearings and it's too many encounters. In Dragon Quest here, it's not so bad because the encounter screen is overlaid onto the map, so it's not so bad. Although it can be pretty bad in dungeons because it's all black. And the other is when it's just Noonsense enemies that don't matter that much. And there's a spell that's like a Pokemon Repel thing. That's, what is that? That's, yeah, it's called Repel, actually, in this game. It's level 15 spell. In the new games, I think it's called Holy Protection, actually. They didn't come up with a cutesy term for it. Alright. It'd be nice if it was less chimeras and more scarewolves. See, now I want enemies. Alright, right, yeah, that's not so bad. Skeleton scrappers, wraiths, okay. Alright. See, that was textbook. That was pretty good. We do get in the video. I'm going to do it after whatever this battle is. Of course he woke up. I would just go for it if he didn't have the ability to... I hate that. Why does it never work the second time with these guys? If he didn't have the ability to heal... Oh my god, stop waking up so soon. Of course the spell will not work. I gotta heal. Run out of freaking magic. I'm going for it, he's almost dead. He didn't heal himself when he woke up, so... Alright, I'm going to stop right here. I'll see you guys real soon with more of Dragon Quest / Dragon Warrior.